Welcome to Elagan Whiteboard Friday, where we look at complex legal and compliance issues in a simple to do way. This series is brought to you by Elagan, your partner and provider of end-to-end business services.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Elagan Whiteboard Friday. This is Vikas from the Elagan team, and I have with me today Mr. Naeem Jaffer. He is the president and CEO of Bitzer Mobile and also a lecturer at the Haas School of Business at UC Berkeley. So today we're going to talk about IPs, intellectual property. When we do a startup, a lot of us have queries about how much time should I worry about protecting my IP, what are copyright, trademarks, patents, do these things matter? Do they really matter? Or is it more of a checklist that I have to have a trademark, I have to have a patent? So I want to talk to you about and get your opinion. What is the importance of IP in a company?
So it depends on the company. In a hardware company, or especially biotech type of company or semiconductor company, patents means a lot. Nobody will even give you any money unless you have a patent applied for protection. But a lot of the software company, patents are not as important, okay, because it's very easy to go around the patent. But if you do have it, you should apply for a patent. A lot of people apply for a provisional patent, which gives them a 12 months period to file a real patent.
Yeah.
And who reads the patent provisional application? Nobody. It's basically like mailing an envelope to yourself. But it gives you a date of when you have protected. So point is that it's okay, but typically they cost money. The reason, even if you try to apply for a patent, if somebody sues you or violates your patent, you have no ability to sue them. To sue somebody in a patent is $100,000 minimum. And if you go to litigation, it's $1 million. So most startup companies have no money. So even having a patent, you can't even protect it. So I don't worry about it in software companies so much.
How about when somebody's trying to acquire a company, can patents? Google files a lot of patents, of course, right?
So when somebody applies, then a patent creates value. And a lot of companies in hardware, especially, patent matter. So I actually talk about in this book called Legal Guide to Starting Out, a lot about patents and when to apply for it and how to approach lawyers and when to approach a lawyer and discuss these things. So these topics are important. And same thing applies to trademark. Trademark actually doesn't cost anything. It costs $200-300 filing fee to apply.
In India, it costs you approximately 3,000 rupees or so. We do it at elagan.com. So take it up.
And what are you protecting with? This is some shape of your logo or a phrase which you want to use exclusively. So in my current company, our phrase was simplifying enterprise mobility. And we were slow to trademark. It's a good phrase. Now my competitor is using it. So I'm like freaked out. So they're using trademark on their phrase. So you do want to protect it if you have a catchy phrase like that so only you can use it. But the three takeaways I want you to worry about. One takeaway is you have to talk to a lawyer early. And I'm talking about a corporate lawyer, because nothing is worse than not forming things correctly. It gets in the way of acquisition later on. A lot of time acquisition falls through because these things are not properly done. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. A lot of time even starting a relationship. Remember, lawyers' lives are kind of boring. So they get all excited when they meet an entrepreneur. They want to learn more about it too. So find a lawyer who's interested in startups and spend an hour in the beginning just to understand questions.
By the way, we get this a lot because a lot of clients come to us and say, hey, I formed a wrong form of company or I did something wrong. Can you guys help us fix that? Right. It's much more difficult to fix it later on than early when you're just starting up. So even though a lot of you guys don't think about this when you're just starting up the company, talk to us when we're just starting up the company. We can help you with suggesting the right type of.
Usually lawyers will meet with you because they think down the road there'll be business.
That's right.
So find a good lawyer. Second thing which you should do is always have IP ownership clean and covered. In other words, you hire somebody to write a code, but you never wrote a document that you, in exchange for giving him that money, you own the intellectual property, or the company owns the intellectual property. They can come back to haunt you. Company becomes successful. The guy say, I wrote that code. This is my code. I own this much of the company. So having some document, even if you don't have a company, with signature that we're giving you this in consideration, we have no. Again, a lawyer can help you with the document. Very important. The third thing which is important is never ever sell common shares to investors. So this is a very bad idea, and I have made the mistake of hiring a Korean divorce lawyer as my corporate lawyer, and that's exactly what he did. Because once you put common shares to investor, you put a price on common share. Now you can no longer issue stock options to your employee at substantially below that number, and that will limit your ability to attract talent.
Offer preferred shares.
So always preferred shares, and could be preferred, could be nine. So these mistakes are commonly made by Desi style. Let's start a company, let's be easy, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
You make fundamental mistakes. So this book again goes into all kinds of detail, what to do, what not to do. But you don't even have to spend money. There are lots of lawyers who love to talk to you, give you some free advice.
Now, how about copyright and things like that? Do you have to worry about copyright?
You should definitely worry about copyright. And copyright is simple. It doesn't even cost anything. It's basically asserting C with a circle on your source code, on your documents.
Yeah.
And you have 50 years protection, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it's unlimited, I think.
Yeah.
So it's easy to do, but if you don't assert it and you don't put it there, then you don't respect it, then you cannot enforce it. So there's simple rules you have to learn about copyright. You should, again, talk to a lawyer, understand them, use them.
Also, because in India, a lot of VCs or investors, when they're coming from outside, they are a little worried about the IP protection and how it happens in India. So they're already paranoid about it. I recommend it takes very little time to go over some of the things. Like he said, just put a copyright C over in each of your document, each of your code. And small, simple steps, things like that can really help a company, with the funding or getting it acquired or anything else.
And again, trademark, when you have some kind of logo or you have some stuff, just putting a little TM here shows your intention to trademark. Now, when you have registered the trademark and you spend like $500, then you, just instead of TM, you put like registered R in a circle. You never put registered R unless you have gone through the process of registering. But TM shows your intention to register. So always it's free to put TM.
Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next Friday for another episode of eLagan Whiteboard Friday.